just the way he likes to do things. Well, Steve, you and I, it's been a pleasure hanging out, but sometimes I feel like we're just missing something, you know?
I feel like we're always missing something, too.
I wonder what it could be.
I don't know. I mean...
Maybe a special guest on the couch. Maybe someone who has insight into, like, you know, the pro scene. Someone who's a talented player. I'd always like to meet someone like that, wouldn't you?
I wonder what it's like as well. Huh.
One day, Steve, we'll find out. One day we'll get ourselves a special guest on the couch. Wait a minute. Who's that?
There's a wild snake eyes up here.
Wild snake. He's on the couch. What's up, man? How's it going?
What's up, guys?
How you doing, sir?
I am doing amazing. I just recently came from the ESO tournament for Mortal Kombat.
Oh, yeah.
I heard you forgot your ID and you're having trouble getting in. Is that true?
Definitely not. Wait a minute.
I'm Red Bull Snake Eyes. Everybody knows me.
I could just get in where I want.
No, it's not like that. It's not like that. Yeah.
So how do you said you came from ESL, you watched the Mortal Kombat. How do you feel about Mortal Kombat?
I feel like Street Fighter has a small amount of Mortal Kombat in it. You know, with
really?
The mix-ups and the commitment, you know, it's becoming that game.
Interesting. All right.
How did you feel about the finals overall? Like, if you were there moments in there when you were like, oh my God, I can't, you know, were there a lot of moments like that?
Well, there's this one guy, he played Alien. I can't remember his name, but
Dragon?
he came Dragon.
Okay.
He came extremely close to beating Sonic Fox, you know?
Yeah.
And this was Sonic Fox's three-peat at ESO, so you know this guy has a lot of money right now.
Yeah.
Did you think Sonic Fox was going to three-peat though?
You know what? I kind of have no choice but to. Like this kid, he's been winning Evo. He's been like every tournament he places top 3. Like he's just I don't know what it is. He's amazing in the game.
So you just played against Stupendous, and you did go to Zangief. We weren't sure what character you were gonna play. But what did you think about playing Stupendous, and why did you go to Zangief instead of one of your other characters?
You know what? I actually came here with the intentions of just playing Ryu.
Okay.
It's because, you know, I feel like he's a great investment to my arsenal.
Yeah.
You know, I always played Zangief, Ryu in every single Street Fighter game. So I just wanted to get a little bit of practice in with him in an actual tournament, but I heard that I had to play Stupendous.
I said that was the Zangief
and
card.
I just had to bring out Zangief.
You had to do
like,
it, right?
Yeah, like there was just something in the back of my head. Like, I wonder if he's actually better than me now. You know?
Wow.
I wonder
told you. Didn't I say, look, when you sat down, I was like, what's going to happen is, that's the card challenge. He was like, hey, do I play Zangief versus Zangief? I mean, Stupendous has been stepping it up.
Stupendous is amazing, Zangief. Yeah. Like, every time he's around me, he's like, hey, Snake, so how do you deal with this? How do you deal with that? And I'm like, man, this guy might pass me up. You know?
He was stealing your tech. That's what was happening. I would have been like, I don't know how I'm doing this.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's mostly the controller.
Yeah.
You know?
But there's some nice things he came up with too. You know, I can't claim everything. You know.
Right.
That's true.
But shout outs to Stupendous, man. He's really good.
So has your stance changed on where Zangief is? And I mean, you can be honest.
No,
sitting on the couch.
I know.
You know?
The honesty couch. That's
you know what, man? As good as I want Zangief to be good, but when I come across people who know what they're doing, it's like there's no hope. You know?
Really? Yeah, I can see that.
I can catch a few people off guard and, you know, have that intimidation factor. But once they're comfortable playing, like after that first round, it's just, you know, it gets pretty hard.
Okay. All right. So my question, I didn't mean to cut you off.
100% go.
What would you say to other Zangief players? Like, if somebody was like, if you were giving a seminar at Yale University about Zangief,
Zangief 101,
why should I stick with this character? What would you tell these guys?
One thing I would tell them is that I don't play every matchup perfectly. So if you see me lose to a guy, that doesn't mean that Zangief loses. It probably means that he kind of has some kind of trouble, but it doesn't mean that he loses. You know, so I feel like a Zangief player should practice all the tech, you know? Practice what your opponent wants to do against you, because that's what Zangief is about. You know, he's not that fast, so he can't make you engage in trying to play defensive, but he can force you to come after him.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
so that's what Zangief is all about.
So you mentioned that you're playing Zangief and Ryu now, but so is there no more Alex on the table, or are you just messing with him a little, or?
I like Alex, but when I started playing, when I came out of my comfort zone and started playing Alex, he made me realize that I should just play Ryu.
I mean, I could have did that, but then I was like, I'm just gonna play Ryu.
Yeah. It's like, if I'm not going to play Zangief,
Yeah.
I don't want to play another grappler. I just want to go straight, like, you know, to a good character.
Now, see, that logic makes a lot more sense, especially considering there's a lot of guys like, oh, man, he's got to suck because, you know, Snake Eyes dropped him. So I'm glad that you actually – no, I think that's sick that you actually tell, like, that you can say that. It takes a lot in, you know, to be that comfortable to be like, look, this is the real issue. It's not that all hope is lost. It just means that you got to grind it out a little harder.
Yeah. Right. I mean, you know, people have been talking about, you know, you got Japanese Zangiefs right now who are doing pretty good. You got Kintaro, Hotaru, you got Itazan, and you got
Itabashi as well, right?
Yeah, Itabashi, Itazan, same thing. And Hagejin. And these guys were playing Birdie at first, but then, you know, something happened and they decided to go back to Zangief. But there was a recent tournament where all of them drowned in pools. Yeah. And it's just like, man, you know, it's kind of – because Hagejin is like that heat, you know?
He's
like,
that guy.
And when you see him losing pools, it's just like, come on, man. But, I mean, you know, there's always the option to switch characters, so at least we have that.
Okay, so I remember last time in Street Fighter 4 you played Evil Ryu as the backup.
Yeah.
Is there any character? Is the only reason you played that character because you thought he was cool, or was it because you felt like it covered a lot more of the matchup basis?
It's not because it's partially because I thought he was cool. Like Evil Ryu is a swag character.
That's
like,
the best answer you could have gave right
there.
now.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, in every Street Fighter game, I always play Ryu on the side. But in Street Fighter 4, it's like there was like almost no reason to play Ryu when Evil Ryu was in the game.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like even though he had lower health, his escape options made up for his lower health. You know, he had a nice backdash, somewhat good not really, but
also his damage output was higher.
Oh yeah,
mostly his damage output was really high.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that part. But
do you think that Ryu in this game is more similar to Evil Ryu from last game or regular Ryu?
His damage is.
Yeah, his damage is.
But as far as you know, pokes and things like that, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. Interesting.
Well, I think that itself says a lot. If you had to say any one thing to worst matchup wise for Geef, who would you say it was?
Oh man, it's so many, but
really?
Yes. I personally now when I discuss this with a lot of other Zangiefs, they always tell me that Guile is the worst.
Really?
But before Guile came out, it was Fang.
Oh, okay.
But personally, I still feel like it's Fang.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's just a really long character. You know, he has really long pokes. Crouch strong.
Really good,
so Zangief's armor is two. He has two armors, and this just completely wipes it out. You know, and it's just like, you know, he has zoning tools that are pretty good, but he doesn't really need to use that. He can just be simple and, you know, use the standing medium punch. So it's frustrating to get around because he has decent escape options. Like his V reversal is pretty decent. But I mean, the thing is, like, he's not a great character, so he can still, you know, when Zangief gets on him and he makes the right moves, he can take some damage. You know?
So with that being said, Fang, right? You saying Fang is the worst matchup? Are there any Fangs that you are personally impressed by?
Not really.
Really?
I feel like Shin is probably the best right now.
Okay.
Giving, you know, statistical data on how well he's been doing in tournaments. Yeah, but me personally, I still feel like Shin is, you know, that dude.
Okay.
With he's making it work, man. He doesn't care.
I was about to say,
he's grinding out.
Do you think he should switch? Because there's a big debate saying that Shin, and I like to ask other top players this.
Yeah.
Do you think he should switch characters, or do you think he should grind it out?
Well, you know, I actually thought that before because I feel like Gin and Fang have similar buttons, right?
Yeah.
But if you think before that, see, Shin used to play Yun, or I think it might have been Yang or Yun.
I think he played Yun, and he played Sim and like Vanilla.
Really? That's really strange. Yeah, but coming from Yun, I feel like he'd pick a character close to that, like you know, I don't know, Nikali.
Yeah.
But he just went straight to Fang. Like, it's such a drastic change. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So I feel like he is going to change one day. But for now, like, since, you know, he's doing okay with Fang, he's going to stick with him.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
So out of the DLC characters, because, like I said, this is just me asking questions because I want to know. Out of the upcoming DLC characters, who are you most excited for?
Urian.
Really?
Yeah, that character, like, I don't know what category to put him under. Like, I know he's not a zoning character, but if he gets Aegis Reflector for his V trigger, which is probably, let's be real, it's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
He's going to be ridiculous. Like he's going to be pretty.
Would you want to play Urian or?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
In this game, like I don't think you could play one character, man. You gotta have multiples.
I mean, Street Fighter 4 was definitely a matchup game. I feel like even more so this game because it's so like it's so clean. It's one of those games where it's like
so many options.
Yeah, it's like a 1-to-1. It's like, look, you're gonna deal or you can't deal. That's it. Like, I mean, it's not a bad thing, but like you said, that's when the matchup grind comes in. You have to put that extra work in because if not, you get steamrolled. And then you're sitting on the sideline.
Yeah, like take for instance, like in battle or like a lounge in Street Fighter 4. You'll play a guy like 3 times, and after those 3 games, if he doesn't beat you, you can just beat him for 100 matches straight. In this game, you can beat someone 3 matches, and then they'll beat you, and then you can beat them like 10, and they'll beat you. It's the toss-up.
It's the toggle. Like, I love it.
For you to like just completely dominate them, you gotta know the matchup really, really well.
You gotta be playing on another level, basically.
Yeah. And I don't even.
So okay, so we know that you're a West Coast guy. Is there any region? First, I'll start in the USA. Is there any region you would love to play in other than this?
Well, I would say Japan, but I've been there before, so that's like less interesting. I want to go to Europe. I want to play there. Yeah, like I went to Rebel Kumite, and I got to play with a little bit of the French players and some players from other areas like Veggie and Problem X, and these guys they're pretty good. At first I was like, you don't really hear too much about Europe and America. You might hear like a name here and there, but when you go there, you're like, man, these dudes have been really grinding. Like Allion is pretty sick right now.
Allion is a tech monster.
He is. He really is. Like when I play against that dude, I don't feel like I'm playing against a human being. Like I feel like I'm like playing against like someone made a script. And
he's one of those
tool
guys.
Assisted.
Like something like
tool assisted.
Real life tool assisted.
He's definitely one of those guys that plays so much that he grinds out matchup stuff and he finds like specific tech options. Like he's like, oh, versus this character, you want to use this more because in this situation it can't deal with it. That's the kind of player that Allion is, and he plays multiple games at that. So I mean, given that, with that being said, is there any person? Name a few if you can that you watch. Like if he's like, oh, this person's streaming, I gotta tune in.
Well, of course, Daigo. You know, he the thing is like he gives out tech when he streams. You know, he always makes sure that you leave with knowing something else. You know, even if and now that they have the voice translation, the translation, you can understand everything. You know, there's absolutely no reason to be in his chat like not checking out things.
That's true.
Another player is Infiltration. Like, see, the thing is, he's a tricky dude because you'll watch his stream and you'll be like, oh, he's just trolling.
He's just trolling.
And then you'll see him pick the same character in the tournament. It's like, what? I didn't expect him to actually bring him out. And Infiltration, he
like his Alex recently.
Yeah. Like you see him play Alex somewhat and troll, but he's actually training.
Yeah.
He's testing out like what he can get away with. So that's always
do you feel like, okay, so we saw, speaking of Infiltration, like I said, I'm just, whatever we go to, I'm going to keep talking about it. Speaking of Infiltration, we saw him at EVO, at every EVO.
Yeah.
He's definitely a matchup player person. Do you think, even though he is, in lead in the CPT points, you got Justin on his tail just with tournament wins, and that's just not including every other player.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Infiltration is still the player to beat, or do you feel like it's Justin, or do you feel like it's somebody else?
Well, Justin has been doing really good in American tournaments, and he does pretty well in international tournaments too. I saw a couple tweets of him saying that he basically wants to play more international players to test to see if he has what it takes. But I still feel like Infiltration is that man to beat because even in Street Fighter 4, this guy played like 8 characters. Everyone thinks that, he just plays Nash or in Alex on the side. No, this dude probably plays a lot of other characters.
Yeah.
You can't sleep on that. And he plays it at a high level, mainly. So and I'm not talking about a decent level. I'm talking about an actual high level. So that's what makes him interesting. You never know if he has some kind of like hidden pocket character. He's been having trouble with Momochi and Human Bomb, and but the thing is like none of that is consistent. I feel like if you gave him another chance, he'd show us something else.
Right. Oh, okay, all right. So you're saying he just hasn't been in the situation.
Yeah,
For him to have to bust out another character.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Infiltration.
Maybe Evo. We'll see some new characters.
I don't know, man. Like, just like you said, Infiltration is one of those guys that plays multiple characters.
Yeah.
Right.
At a high level, not at a semi-okay, I could do a couple combos, like a really, really high level.
Which I think stems from his understanding of the game. But what I'm curious about is what the events you're going to be at next. I don't think we've seen you travel as much.
Man, where have you been?
Yeah. Combo Breaker happened, and I was basically in Toronto doing a shoot.
Yeah, okay.
And, if I wasn't doing that, obviously I would have went there.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But my next tournament should be CEO.
Oh,
Like I'll be
okay.
there. Yeah, I'll be representing SC. I mean, how can you miss CEO? You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
You can't miss
CEO
that.
is one of those tournaments that I say you have to go to. But I can tell you right now, and I keep telling this, and I will never not say this. Combo Breaker is definitely
It was
I know, man.
ridiculous.
that tournament was ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
Comp-wise, everything.
I wish I would have went.
yeah.
I'm like regretting over here.
Okay, all right.
Hey, guys,
Well,
what are you doing, man?
I know, right? Well, it's been a pleasure, sir.
Oh, yeah,
I
definitely,
wish you the
man.
best. You already know what it
Thanks
is.
a
We're
lot,
going to
man.
talk a lot more.
for being on
For sure.
Red Bull, Snake Eyes, thanks for tuning in. Well, I don't know if we're going to go back to our next match or we're just going to take a small break. All right,
That's an excellent question.
so we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
Come back with some more matches.
Sounds good to me.
Top 8.
Top 8?
Nonetheless.
That sounds good to me.
We'll be back shortly.
See you then.